It's Sunday morning, so you know what that is. That means it is not your normal Sunday morning. I am Wayne Steiger, and my host and co-host is Jeff Doherty, New Cosmic Knowledge. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. I'm just trying to get over and make sure that I've got it muted on your channel so it doesn't come up making a bunch of noise.
Well, see, then we can live in 2/4 time.
We can, just like it just did. So now we're time traveling live on YouTube.
Oh, you gotta love it, you know. So
You really do. It's amazing.
it is. It is. So how you been, my friend? How's this week been for you?
I've been doing really well. Things have been going good. I'm getting back, like I told you a little earlier, I'm back in my prime. I'm feeling good and things are getting back into normalcy. And, it's like my granddad used to tell me, Wayne, the man who had no shoes felt bad till he met the man that had no feet. So somebody's always got it a whole lot worse than you do.
I think it really comes down to the perspective that one interprets things, but I agree with you. I just want to say hello to everyone who's coming in. Hello, Deborah Tucker. How are you doing? Sarah Kay, Lori, I think a lot of these people you recognize as well, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yes. Lori, good to see you. Jerry, good to see you. Michelle. So, I was reading in the headlines that the counties, I guess, north of you, where that hurricane went up, are still without electricity.
It's amazing that can happen in the United States of America in today's day and age.
Well, I read the story and it said, do you know what the problem is?
No, I don't.
They can't find the telephone poles. Most of these rural areas up in your part of the country, apparently it's all wooden poles that hold the telephone and electrical lines up.
Yeah, this is the South, Wayne. And I always thought, I lived in Europe for 3 years. And in Europe, at least in Germany, the power lines are all underground. They don't have them on poles.
Yeah, same here. They're not above ground. But it went on to say that they can't find enough poles.
That sounds like a fish story, Wayne. They really can't find some new telephone poles?
It's not that they're not there. It's just that as one reporter said at a Tallahassee, I think that 10,000 poles have been destroyed or better.
Wow.
So that puts it into perspective. And then they were saying, I guess they get their power from a nuke plant that storm came through and just bent over the high tension power lines like they were just tinker toys, apparently. So
it makes you wonder. And of course, you have all of the conspiratorium saying that it's directed weaponry and directed energy and it was done on purpose. And I'm not against that type of speculation and that type of research, but let's let these folks dig out first and concentrate on that before we start coming up with other reasons. Maybe, just maybe.
Jeff, I do not do well with heat and humidity. I don't like it. I mean, I grew up with it in Houston and
come to Florida, Wayne.
Yeah, I just don't like it. And I'm thinking it's still hot down there, right?
Well, it depends upon how you define hot. It'll push 90 during the day, but it's a nice 75, 76 at night.
Okay, yeah. That's hot. That's what I was saying. And I could dig that. So my best to everyone that's out there, because they're not listening to us.
But I'll tell you what, it is hotter in South Florida than it is in Pinellas County. I'll guarantee you that. I found that out.
Oh yeah.
It's only a few, maybe 200 miles south, but it's that makes a lot of difference.
I've only been to Miami and that Fort Lauderdale area a couple of times, and even in the wintertime, I think I was in there in December, and it was still hot, still humid.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, oh no, I don't like it. Well, good friend, how was your week?
It's been good, Wayne. Trying to get off of this YouTube timeout, and they say the 22nd. Now, I don't know if that means the 22nd at 12:01 a.m. or that means the 22nd at night. So I just got to keep logging in and seeing if I'm out of jail yet. So it's pretty frustrating, but tomorrow should be the day either way. I'm hoping that it's during the day so we can have our interview with Bob Sanders, the facilitator of the Great White Brotherhood. But either way, we'll have that. It just might not be tomorrow. And then on the 24th, Joseph Atwell, author of Caesar's Messiah, and I will be joining Vinny Eastwood on his great program.
Well, I'm just going to speak favor to you, and we're all just going to believe that tomorrow you're going to be emancipated, liberated.
Well, let's hope so.
We'll have V-Day.
Maybe. I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later, right?
It is. Hello, Warrior Princess. Good to see you. Scott, the room's filling up here. So,
Absolutely.
Jeff,
Good to see.
I wanted to share something with everyone because I want to let everyone aware of an event that is taking place. People who are listening to us, if you're under the age of 60, this has never happened before. So you're going to see an event. Let me go.
Wayne, I am under the age of 60.
Okay. You see that?
I see. Yeah. What is that?
This is what they call the planetary KP index. Now, you always want to see this when there's a magnetic storm, a geomagnetic storm, it'll turn yellow or red. And many times I've seen one hit almost 9. That happened in 2012. What we're witnessing here, my friend, has never been seen by most people ever. This is alarming. This is a full-blown cosmic ray storm hitting us, Jeff. And this is below 0. And let me just show you how bad it gets. And you tell me if you can.
I
you
thought
see
that was a graph of the growth of the economy under the Obama era.
Can you see that one? Can you see
that?
Okay. You see this yellow line right here? The speed? Here's the problem, Jeff. And this is why we all have got to be concerned. We're hitting solar wind speeds right now that are about 250 million kilometers per second. And that is virtually no energy at all coming off of our sun. So we're in, we have connected magnetically to the south part of the sun now with the new coronal holes. That's what this phi index is. But what I wanted to show everyone this morning was this. Here's the problem. If you have elderly people, relatives, kin, friends, be on alert. It's at a level 5. This means cardiac. It means memory issues, patients who are suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, people that have, and you know who you are, if you're listening to this, that have weak electrical signals coming from their heart. This is the stuff that will kill you. Now, if you're flying, I would not be flying. Just flat out would not be flying.
For how long, Wayne?
Well, when we start seeing it raise back up, when we want to see it getting back up here to where this green is at least hitting 1, it means that we've come out of this particular event. But this one I have never seen.
So why wouldn't you fly?
Because the amount of cosmic rays hitting at 35,000 feet, 40,000 feet is being intensified exponentially. Typically, we see the cosmic rays hit the ionosphere up at about 100,000 feet, 70,000 feet. When it starts getting down to where airline traffic travels, and that's that 40, 35,000, 20,000, you're getting exceptional doses of radiation. In fact, most likely, if you're up there for an hour, depending where you are, depending on the intensity of the cosmic rays coming in, it can be the equivalency of smoking 3 packs of cigarettes in an hour.
Wow, I met some people that could do that.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So this is serious stuff. Something's going on. It looks like Mars is becoming volcanic active again. And if that's the case, then there is some wacky stuff going on. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that to our viewers' attention, folks. Again, this is what we've entered into in this period of our sun. Remember when I asked you to look up what the scripture said specifically when Christ talked about the sun going dark?
Right.
And what did you come up with anyway? I'm going to stop sharing here. So what was it that you came up with on that?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but in any case, yeah, it's some weird stuff going on. That's all I can say.
Well, Matthew 24:29 is the verse, and it says, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. In the interlinear, it says that the sun, and I just want to make sure they're talking about the sun. They are talking about the sun. The sunlight, it says, the sunlight will become dark. The sunlight, and it also talks about the sovereign act of the divine obscuring light too. But the original word is physical or moral darkness.
Well, I can tell you, we now know from the satellite telemetry data, well, easy for me to say, our sun is reducing its light. So, you know.
And I know this is going out on a limb a little bit, Wayne, but I think that we could probably say, without too much fear of contradiction, that there's been a reduction in moral light of late in the world.
Yeah, I'm convinced. I'm convinced, Jeff, something's going on. So my wife and I just took a night off, and she was watching live PD, and I'm sitting there just kind of reading and I'm listening. So they've got cameras following police departments all over the country. I think they're following 8 or 9. And I'm looking up because after about the 4th pullover that they're showing on live television, Jeff, these people were possessed.
You really think they were possessed, huh?
One guy was speaking in tongues.
Are you serious? Was he like he was in church, or was he just doing it because he was a bit weird?
He was bare ass naked. They had to tase his ass.
Have you ever seen anybody that way in church, naked? That's one thing I never saw in 20 years.
Only what was going on behind the broom closet.
That's one thing I never saw in 20 years was someone.
No, I have to say, I never saw anyone streaking. That I did not. But my point is that it just wasn't one person. There is something, my friend. I got to tell you, something's going on here. And the other thing that I cannot get over in a statistics, because I took statistics, is that what the hell is with this meth? I mean, meth is everywhere. It's like every other car that they pulled over had meth in it. They were meth users. Now,
Wayne, do you know what meth does to you?
Well, no, I never took it, never been around it. So, it obviously.
You never took meth. Okay.
Oh, no, never. No. Now, I know what meth teeth look like. You can tell meth eat, apparently because their teeth will literally rot out of their heads. But wow, I mean, we're seeing mothers that had their children in the car that had meth on them. And so, these cops are just randomly pulling people over for cause, obviously. But, when you begin to look at this and you begin to see the amount of what is clearly either pure hatred for law enforcement or that there is something else going on here.
And Wayne, think about this long-term effects of meth. Why would there be so much meth? Who would benefit from all of this meth? Panic, psychosis, destruction of tissues in the nose, tooth decay, like you've mentioned, disorientation, apathy, confusion, exhaustion. strong psychological dependence, psychosis, depression, damage to the brain similar to Alzheimer's. Who would be to benefit from a population that's suffering from apathy, that is strongly dependent psychologically, that has psychoses, that's depressed, and that is stumbling around like people that are zombies? Who would benefit by that, Wayne?
I don't know. The Jefferson Airplane, I hear one pill makes you larger, one pill makes you smaller. I
And I
mean,
mean, I've seen people and known people that did meth, and I can recognize some of these symptoms. It's
mm,
really quite frightening.
well, it becomes, I wonder if it's a soul eater.
Ooh, is meth a soul eater? That's a very interesting question, Wayne Steiger.
Well, we should ponder that because that's what it got me thinking. I mean, I started writing I have a diary that I keep, and I'm writing and I said, are we seeing the advent of the soul eaters? And I wrote that down because these people seem to have no freaking soul.
And you know, Wayne, that then this just put me off to something else. I always wonder because I think names mean something,
They
and
do.
people don't name things just to name things. We're talking about meth, but what about this drug that everybody calls ecstasy?
Mm.
Is it really gonna bring ecstasy if that's what they name it? And what are the long-term effects of using ecstasy? Anxiety, depression, sleep problems, memory problems, suppressed appetite, a lack of interest in sexuality or deriving pleasure from it, as we sit here and talk about a nation that's going functionally infertile, impulsive behavior, aggressive, confused, inability to pay attention, impulsiveness, memory loss. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't sound like ecstasy to me. And there's a reason why they want to push it and make you think it's going to bring ecstasy, because you're a whole lot easier to control and a whole lot less likely to resist if you're under the effects, long-term effects of either ecstasy or meth. And better yet, how about both of them?
You said something that triggered something inside my consciousness, and I'm going to research this out. And the audience, I invite you to do the same. All right, you said everything has a name, right?
Everything has a name.
Okay.
And they don't pick these names at random, ladies and gentlemen. We have to get our mind around that.
So who is the deity? Could we do a correlation with METH to find an ancient deity? I bet you we could find some ancient Babylonian or some ancient god that would be closely aligned to METH. I'm just trying, and I'm just thinking, I know when you spell that backwards, it spells them.
That's interesting too, isn't it? And ecstasy.
That now, come on, Jeff. That's revelation.
That is
Meth,
revelation.
them. Oh, come on, folks. A blind man would see the connection here.
Wow, this is good stuff. And I mean, the things that you start coming up with it as you start thinking about things.
Wow. I mean,
Wow.
Jeff, think about
And think about spirits,
that's my
alcohol.
point.
So we're going to use alcohol, and I mean, alcohol and ecstasy are like peanut butter and jelly to drug users and addict type people. I mean, it's very rare that someone's going to be using ecstasy and not using alcohol.
Them.
And if you're in the club scene, I mean, that's a club drug typically. And Wayne, nobody goes to the club and drinks tonic water. So if you're dropping ecstasy, you're also drinking.
Yeah, but I get that. I know the spirits on the alcohol, but I'm telling you, them. Now
Yeah,
there is something there that's not by accident.
absolutely not. And I bet if you did a study on all of the illicit drugs, at least probably mostly the chemical ones, those that have natural derivations, maybe not, but you're going to find some tie-ins to some ethereal beings.
Isn't meth all chemicals though? There's no natural elements when they're making these meth labs.
Well, Wayne, all I know about meth is the 3 episodes I saw of that TV show.
Well,
And, seeing the effects of some people that have used it, that's all I know about it.
Well, I have friends in law enforcement that, they've come on meth labs and it's nasty chemicals. They all kill you.
Yeah.
And now I'm really seeing something here with the enlightenment of understanding the Hermetic principles and beginning now to see alchemy. I am seeing a direct spiritual vortices with them.
Well, drug users are or drug manufacturers are alchemists.
They are. But and I'm just going back to what I witnessed last night watching this show. It's 3 hours long, all across the country. And like I said, I put my glasses down and I'm looking at this and I look over at Lynn and I go, is everybody on meth? And the one that got me was the mother that had 2 young children.
Yeah. We're being told in the chat room that meth and alcohol don't combine. And it always says, heard from a friend.
I don't know. So I see Rick Delaney Jackson is saying meth is all chemicals. This makes sense. This makes sense. Jeff Doherty, there is a show in this one.
Ecstasy is all chemicals as well.
So it's all synthetic as well.
It is indeed.
Let's think this out for a second. All right. Shaman, medicine men, oracles throughout history of man's written history have all been they'll use some sort of natural herb or something to induce the spirits. The Catholic Church does it when they have mass, when they're carrying the frankincense. It's to clear the spirits. So, wow, I had not thought about this, Jeff. This is coming in hard and fast, brother. This is a portal. This is a man-made nasty thing.
And we always think of portals as a way for us to get out or to go somewhere. But ladies and gentlemen, portals work both ways. So if you're going to create meth, you're going to create ecstasy, they're not making that as a portal for you to go anywhere. They're creating that as a portal so they can come into you, cousin.
Ooh.
And let me just say it. This just dropped in my spirit and I'm going to say it. And some people aren't going to like it, but that's not anything new for me. If you've used meth and if you've used ecstasy, you have suffered invasion from energetic spirits and entities, and you better damn well get yourself cleansed or you're in trouble, cousin.
Well, and I think we've stumbled onto something here that is going to help people because, it's one of those things that it's in suburbia. It's obviously non-discriminational. It's welcomes all. But this really has brought something to me. When I saw that them and I looked at this and I said, bingo, that just triggered something in me. We know.
That's crazy. If you've been using these things, you've got to get yourself cleansed.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've ever used these things, you've got to get yourself cleansed.
Yeah. This is where awareness and understanding comes for a community and a group.
And this is interesting. Caroline just put in the definition, the dictionary definition of ecstasy. And of course, this is what the drug is called. The dictionary definition of ecstasy is, Wayne, are you ready for this? A trance or trance-like state in which a person transcends normal consciousness.
Well, hello.
How stupid are you?
I've been doing a series last week was on spells. And Jeff, the epiphany hit me. We live in a reality of spells.
And Jeannie says that, or Jean, I'm not sure if it's Jean or Jeannie, Adair, says that she did ecstasy when she was 19 to 21 years old, started having sleep paralysis while she was doing it.
Makes sense. Wow. Jeff, I'm just going to throw this out there because that's what we do on Sunday mornings. What if we are truly in the middle of an opening of forces spirits, detached souls. I don't know, but something I just keep on seeing. I think something has changed in our physical reality. I think
Absolutely.
I think there's more people walking today that don't have a soul, Jeff.
And Wayne, is it just coincidental, or could there possibly be a connection to the fact that there's more and more drug use going on? Are there more and more entities entering in, and that's why we're seeing more and more of what's going on?
Wait a minute, Jason. I don't appreciate that. If you want to call people stupid, I suggest you look into the mirror and put him in timeout. You know what? You just go on, my friend, and we wish you all the best. Bye. Okay, I'm sorry, Jeff.
Well, bye.
Johnny Ringo, you look like someone just walked over your grave.
I wonder about that, Wayne. If increased drug use brings in, is all of drug use tied into entities trying to get into this realm?
I
That's
think
a
they
great
use
question.
us. I think they use us for a transmutation portal platform. I think that that's one of the interesting things that, I go by the scripture in Psalms where it's written, "Did I not call you gods?"
Yeah.
And I am contending, um, and this is where I'm going, Jeff, is that for those of us who are in fact gods, this is training.
It is. And Wayne, I got to say something. And I know a lot of people are going to get really upset with this. Every time my channel gets on a roll, I try to say something to get people to unsubscribe. So it keeps me humble.
What, are you just trying to piss them off?
But I have been told by not one, not two, but I've been told by at least 3 indigenous shaman, Wayne. And we're not talking about, I saw an ad on Gaia and took a 3-day course for $300 to become a shaman. I'm talking about real, not that there's anything wrong with that. I shouldn't have said that. But I mean real indigenous shaman. And they've all told me that one of the most powerful medicines for getting possessed is marijuana. Just saying.
Well, listen, there is something here. I mean, if you go back to the story with Noah, I mean, the first thing he did was to make spirits.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
So
is.
I look at this not as a 21st century issue. I think that this has been an issue. I don't think we like being down here.
And interesting that you say that, Wayne, because I'm sorry, somebody's telling me why they unsubscribed from my channel. Anyway, what was I thinking about? Oh, you talk about soulless people and we don't like being here. I'm wondering, Wayne, if there's not people walking around without any souls, because do you think the soul sometimes says, I've tried with this person. I've done all I can with this person. This person's not going to get it. I need to get some work done. I'm out of here.
Listen, I know this sounds weird, but I think we've been taught wrong about who and what we are, the diversity and the complexity of what we are. I say we're gods. I say we're training. I've been really taking it in the shorts from some people because I said I don't believe in reincarnation. And I said, here's my problem with reincarnation. It so demeans the value of life. Because what's my incentive of going up higher if I know I'm just going to come back? Most people are lazy. And they're just going to skate right on through and say, well, heck, I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm coming back through. And then I thought, well, what happens when the sun goes supernova? And it will. And the earth goes bye-bye, cousin, as you would say. So what happens to all the souls that are here? What is it? The guy comes in and says, game's over. The earth is gone. Jeff, I think that, and I'm just going to say this, I believe I am a God. I'm not the God. I am a God. And what better place for me to learn discipline of both my spirit, my soul, my emotions, and my body. If I could master those three, then I should be able to graduate to the next level.
Absolutely. And I think that's why you're here.
Thank you.
I think that's why you're here.
And I think that going along with that is the fact that we've got to begin to learn the value of what we speak. I've known this for decades, Jeff. You have too, is the power of words. And I was instructed that the proper term is the word of your power. Not the power of your word, the word of your power, because it is directly connected to you, your power. And Jeff, I want to run this by you because you are the perfect person to do this with. So I had this dream and I woke up, I wrote it down. This is why I think most people sin. They will cuss themselves. They will damn themselves. They will continue to ridicule themselves. And then they have the gall and the audacity to say that they love God.
You know, it's so funny. If you told people everything you say from now on will come true, half of them would say, well, that tickles me to death.
Exactly. or I'm just dying to know.
And I'm being kicked around in the chat room. I'm sorry, the shaman told me that. You take it up with them. You know, it's funny when you get, and the flat earth people come to mind, because if someone that's a flat earth person, typically, if you're not flat earth, you're stupid, they can't discuss anything. And some 420, 420, whatever you call it, people come perilously close to that same thing. They can't discuss marijuana, they can't discuss cannabis. If you dare to question it or point out anything that's not perfect with it, they all want to go into a tizzy. Grow up, people.
It's just a discussion. I take CBDs, take 100 milligrams a day, capsule form. Doesn't get you high, but it does help with the fibromyalgia. So
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a discussion. But listen, there are herbs, there are extracts that do invoke, certain sensations.
Absolutely.
And I think they do with the soul and the spirit as well. But I think that this is where I get to the point that people, they don't love themselves just by the way that they talk. They talk about themselves. And it suddenly dawned on me, well, how can you ever have divine love, favor for a creator if you're cursing what the creator created?
That's an interesting point.
Why would he listen to you? You've cursed yourself.
Interesting point.
You know, if you're a Christian, then read your Bible, because God will not have anything to do with that which is cursed.
Interesting.
So keep your goddamn mouth shut.
I love this show. This is fun.
Little unorthodox, I know. But the point is, Jeff, we've got to stop playing these games. People get so sacrilegious and sanctimonious about where they stand. And yet I listen to people talk all the time, and they are cursing themselves, belittling themselves. And then I say, well, how can you go to the creator? Yeah.
The words that you speak are either wrecking balls or building blocks for your life.
What does Proverbs says? You will eat the bounty of that, whether it be good or bad. Book of James says the same thing about the tongue. All other members of the body can be tamed, but the tongue cannot. It's an unruly member.
It's so true. I was just thinking, and my mind's just going in 100 different directions. But anyway, I'm gonna have to just ignore the chat room for a while.
You can't text and drive.
No, you can't. You can't.
Yeah. I just look over there and I'm going, okay.
Sometimes I feel like I'm back in Christianity. That's all I'll say.
Well, you can get it. Listen, it's a seductive mistress. I like the singer Sade, and she sings, smooth operator.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. I wrote somebody, they asked me, they said, they had listened to me back in the days when I was with Steve Olson on WSO, and they said, I always thought that you were a God man, a biblical man, a man who believed in the Israeli cause. Well, where do you stand? And I said, well, first of all, I don't believe in the biblical gods. I
Yeah.
said, let's just establish that. I said, however, that does not preclude the existence of one that is greater than all, which we call the all. And I said, when you discover that the all is the all, I said, you're not here dividing which God you're going to be serving. It's freed me.
That's good stuff.
I mean, I was had some time yesterday, so I always carry, Jeff, I read this all the time now. I carry it wherever I go, wherever I go. And there you go. There you go. I tell people, Bill, if you're listening, this is for you, my friend. Go out, buy yourself a copy. If you can't get a copy, email me. I'll send you a PDF. Read this. Bill is struggling, and I don't think I'm just saying anything else. He's trying to find out how to get connected to the Creator. Jeff, and I've gotten several emails that people are waking up. They're coming out of Christianity, and they're afraid because they can't connect anymore to what they were in, and they're listening to you, they're listening to me, listening to others, and now they're at a place where they're trying to begin to get reconnected back to that source.
I never do this, Wayne, but I just grabbed, the Kabbalion, and I just opened up to a page thinking that there might be something there. And it says, the Hermetic teachers impart their instruction regarding this subject by bidding students to examine the report of their consciousness regarding their self. The students are bidden to turn their attention inward upon the self dwelling within each. Each student is led to see that his consciousness gives him first a report of the existence of himself. The report is I am. This at first seems to be the final words from the consciousness, but a little further examination discloses the fact that this I am may be separated or split into two distinct parts or aspects, which while working in unison and in conjunction, yet nevertheless may be separated in consciousness. So the first thing we need to do is look inwardly and start what, when you start, isn't it interesting? If you're tempted to say you are, maybe you should first go back and look at I am.
I am.
Whoops, sorry.
And by the way, could I just add to that? So here is where, folks, with Christianity, where you can find the 7 principles embedded in it. In the Old Testament, God says, I am all. And that is, in fact, one of the Hermetic principles.
It is.
Minimalism. It's the first one. All is in all. And I never realized how the occult is so replete through the scriptures. Lennon, go ahead. You were going to say something.
It's almost as if it was written by occultists.
It almost seems like that, doesn't it? And so I have the Pistis Sophia, the Gnostics, and I was reading last night, and it's so plain what the Christ was saying. It's not a guy that was put on a cross, folks. And by the way, if you didn't listen to Jeff's the cross, your program you did this week, fantastic connection with Satan, going to and fro, up and down. Boy, doesn't that just establish something?
That was actually one of my subscribers that dropped that little nugget on me, and it's just powerful.
It is. I went, well, how about that? But
why, John and Ringo.
The thing is that the Christ said, salvation lies in you. The kingdom of God is in you. It's not this place up here. It's not this, you know, Lynn said for me to do this because I've been developing a little comic routine. So I'll give you the routine, Jeff. It's a little rough, but so here was Wayne Steiger 10 years ago. My hope was that I was not going to go to hell, because the hell of facing the great white throne judgment was that you hoped that you were on the list and then you didn't go to hell. But here's the problem as I now see it. So let's say I got to heaven. What the hell do I do now?
Yeah.
I mean, at least in hell, I know what the hell I'm doing, because they make it very clear what happens to you in hell. They're very ambiguous what happens when you're in heaven.
They really are. It's hard to figure out, isn't it?
What do you do? I mean, the cats down there that are getting all the bad stuff, apparently they know what they're doing. But anyway, I digress. Are you still looking at the chat room?
I am. I can't break myself from it.
I know it is. So how is it going in there?
It's not bad. It's okay.
Hello, Darlene. I haven't seen you before. Are you any chance from Texas? Just curious. I knew a Darlene once.
Isn't there a song about it, Darlene?
Is there?
There's probably a lot of songs about Darlene.
Yeah.
But Wayne, I just started, one of my friends dropped something into my mind, and I've started actually looking back at it, and it's pretty interesting. I've 20 years as a preacher and got out of that, and the Bible's 75% dung. Yeah. I've always thought that the Bible does remain a profitable study for those that are seeking wisdom. And I've gone back to a couple, 3 times a week, going back and pulling out some of those diamonds in the Bible, in the New Testament, and sharing them. It's almost like I'm preaching again, Wayne. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll tell you how I feel about that. I think it's spot on because, by the way, Darlene, you said yes, so I'm just curious.
She said it's me.
Who said that?
Darlene said it's me, laugh out loud, like she was the one you knew.
It is you. I thought so. You ought to email me. If you, Beverly Hills Junior High.
Somebody says the chat room is my drug of choice.
Hey, listen, it's a great song by Roxy Music, by the way. Love is the drug I'm looking for. So,
there's a lot of truth in that too, Wayne.
There is. So, I certainly digressed on that one. So back, what was the subject matter again? Preaching.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. 40 years for me. I mean, I was in the Word of Faith movement. I mean, you were Pentecostal. Yeah. Well, Darlene, how are you doing? Good to see you. Email me. Now this is so odd, Jeff. I've met.
What are the odds that you knew a Darlene, and
I knew her last name,
and she's in the chat room?
Yeah, I have to say this is very, very interesting.
It is,
Darlene. You got to email me. So, how many times do you meet someone from the 8th grade? For me, well, now it's one.
Not very often, that's for sure.
Well, that is just a thrill. But I learned principles. What I learned from people like Hagen, Copeland, Savelle, Myers, I can just go and list down the names. Every one of those people are multimillionaires. A couple of them are billionaires. They
really
got
billionaires.
Kenneth Copeland is worth 1.7 billion.
No way.
Yes way. Yes way.
Wow.
Yes way. So, yeah. You got people like Billy Brim, who I think she owns 3 jets. So,
wow, that's amazing. He's worth over $1 billion, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, what was Oral Roberts worth at his heyday? He had to be in a billionaire.
Oh, he was well into several hundred million.
No kidding.
And the thing they learned folks, they learned this. This is the principles to prosperity.
Interesting.
Everything I learned, and then my transition went over to people like Errol Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy. The same thing, folks. The Kabbalion, the 7 principles. So
isn't that interesting?
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to take the knowledge I know that works. You don't need to be praying to Jesus. You should be praying to your name, because if you don't recognize your name, how will the angels recognize your name? And by the way, Jeff, why would an angel serve something that was less or below it?
Unless he had to.
Well, I think that they would be more apt to serve those who are above them.
Oh, absolutely.
And my point is, I want to start teaching people these same principles. There's health in here. And what I try to teach people is that being rich, by the way, let's pray for the persons who ever going to win these lotteries, because it's a curse. It's not a blessing. It's a curse. And that's what most people don't realize about sudden wealth. Proverbs warns against it up and down. Sudden wealth will be a curse to you. And the first thing you have to do is learn to become prosperous with who you are. So that's what I'm teaching. And it goes
Wayne,
right in line.
Somebody asked you, Wayne, are you saying that those billionaire preachers use the Hermetic principles to manifest their billions?
I am saying that, Caroline. I am.
Wow.
I am. Absolutely, I am. And you can listen to their testimonies, and you listen to their testimonies. And when you study the Kabbalion, the 7 principles, you tell me where I'm wrong.
Interesting. Wayne, is it possible to reform the message of the master without completely tearing down Christianity?
Yeah, I think that the Nag Hammadi is the first step.
Yeah,
I do.
But I mean, could you literally have like a reformed church of the master or something like that?
Yeah, I think we could. I think we would take the word church out of that. I think we'd bring the assemblies. That's what I think it would be more accurate. But I believe that that's probably what will end up happening.
Interesting.
There's a resurgence of this knowledge. It's everywhere now. And I happen to think that we're part of that. And everywhere this knowledge goes, people are being free. Jeff, I have 32, I keep them in a separate file, testimonies of people who have written to me, emails, applying the 7 principles, the favor cleansing blessing, and their lives are changed around. The oldest couple I've had were in their 80s.
Isn't that something?
The guy wrote me and he said, my wife and I thank you. He said, we know our time is short, but he said, the thing that you helped set us free from was fear of death.
Am I on that list?
No, I don't.
Of 32?
No, because I always considered you as an equal.
Well, I applied that favor in my life to amazing results.
Yes, you did. Yes, sir, you did. I'll share another story. A woman wrote, she is a waitress, been struggling. She said, it's been hard.
You told me this, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the one with the tips. And then the other one with the car. I had another one who wrote me and told me that they got a raise out of nowhere. Yeah, people are finding truths. That's the only thing I can say.
Absolutely. It's an interesting time. It really is an interesting time.
It really is. I think we're learning. Jeff, I tell you, I know we're living in interesting times. I got this itch that I can't scratch that tells me I think we're on the precipice of something, brother. I don't know what it is. I can't define it, but it's it's an itch I can't scratch, but I know it's there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. We've all had one of those.
Yeah. So how is the chat room? Here I am just talking away, but
It always amazes me the things that get going on in the chat room that have nothing to do with anything we're talking about. But most of the time
it takes on its own life.
it does take on its own life.
It does. I love the people that you know, it's amazing. Yeah. Let's see. My wife does not eat or drink blood anymore, but still, Max, that's a really good point.
That is
Jeff,
a good point.
give some insight on that one, because whoa, they're drinking the blood and eating the flesh.
See, here's the problem. The problem with trying to reform, to do all this alchemy, this is real alchemy, is you got to get people to be able to separate the message of the Christ from Christianity.
Oh, yeah, I see where you're going.
Tough. That's microsurgery, cousin.
Woo! Jeff Doherty, you've solved that one. You just got yourself a bestseller.
Yeah.
If there's anyone that could do it, I think you could do it.
Interesting stuff. And, I also think that there's a lot of people that are a lot of people that are trying to make a difference, a lot of difference makers that are either have been, are being, or are going to be. And this is a little bit of a word of caution, warning, prophecy, whatever you want to say. People that are trying to make a difference some of them are going to be coming into beautiful deceptions, things that look good, smell good, feel good, but they're meant to distract you. So be aware, cousins.
Wow. And I have written right over here, beware of the booby traps.
Oh, you wrote that down. How much? We didn't talk either.
No, we did not. Beware of the booby traps.
Yep. Not be afraid.
No.
Just be aware.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you have to have a guide. I'm realizing the value of having a guide, whether it be a spiritual guide, a teacher, because Blazing River will thank you. Very kind of you. Because I don't know about you, I don't like blazing a trail by myself.
Well, it's probably not real safe to do it by yourself, is it?
Well, the other thing I'm thinking is that, you're out there clearing it all, right? And it's kind of like building up a fortune. When you die, someone else is going to spend that. And if you're blazing a trail, it means someone else is going to come by and being able to walk on that trail and not do near the effort that you did.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Wayne?
I don't know. That's exactly the question I'm asking myself in the back of my head, going, all right, Steiger, what do you mean by that?
Because, there's and I don't listen to much music, but a song came into my mind by Tim McGraw. It's called Stay Humble and Kind. And he says to turn around and help the next person in line.
Ooh.
So I'm wondering if some of us blaze the trail, but yeah, I can see what you're saying, because some people don't appreciate the trail, and there's something to, you get something by blazing that trail yourself. And there's not many people that follow a trail that are the same as people that blaze the trail, Wayne.
Oh, now that's profound. Wow. You see, I've always known that I've been a trailblazer. Now I'm beginning to see. This is what I love about knowledge, Jeff. We evolve.
Yep.
So to some of the empaths in here, I have a mystery.
I'm just thinking,
What?
I get these stupid emails and messages every day, and I almost was about to do it. I was every show I try to do at least some kind of hand sign that somebody says is an Illuminati hand sign, so they'll have something to complain about.
Oh my goodness. Okay. People see what they want to see in it.
They do.
Yeah. So what would be the odds, do you think, Jeff, something that's been happening with me for the last, it's happened, I guess it's going on about a month, that in my garage, I go out and I have my workbenches and everything else out there. So I have the radio that's going and it stays on 24/7.
Hmm.
And I think I just play it for whoever wants to listen to it. But here's my point. Every time I walk out, not every time, I'm keeping a chart on it. I'm hitting 94, 95%. But I can walk out and there will either be playing or the next song will be Led Zeppelin.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. And
You're not
we
on
have
the Led Zeppelin station on Sirius or something, are you?
no. This is the classic rock station right out of Boulder.
So you're saying that most of the time you walk out there, you hear Led Zeppelin 94,
Yeah,
95% of the time.
yeah, keeping it.
Well,
Now
there
it's
is a
getting
lot of Led Zeppelin songs out there. And Empath, it's so, someone had a relationship breakup, someone's cheating on them. That is really sad. That's really tragic. But I mean, I don't know why I want to say this, but there's almost 4 million other ones out there.
yeah. I like what Lauren Eisenhower told me. She says, "What, you got one person that disliked you? There's 7.5 billion others out there." You know?
Exactly.
Well, now it got even a little weirder because we have Sirius XM in our car, and we had it on the classic vinyl station. And what happened when we got in there? Led Zeppelin.
No kidding.
Yeah. And my wife is not really into all these things like that, but even now she's saying, "What's going on here?"
Yeah. I was in that craziness in Tampa Stadium with Led Zeppelin, if you remember that.
Oh, you were, weren't you? Yeah. Did you like that?
I wasn't really into it. I just went with a friend, but it was interesting. Jeff, how do you deal with it with kids? Deal with what with kids? Oh, yeah. That's tough, Empath. I've been there, done that. This too will pass. And I'm not trying to be cavalier, but this too will pass.
Cleansing ceremonies. First of
That's a
all,
very good one. Yep.
people, Jeff, they don't do it. I try to do a cleansing ceremony in our house once a day.
Once a day. That's good.
Once a day. Sherry Spears made me this beautiful, beautiful feather wands with natural feathers, and I go through that and do almost every day.
Yeah, I used to live with someone that did it once a week. I thought that was a good idea. Once a day is even a better idea.
That just keeps the air. I mean, I invoke, the spirit of wisdom here when we do our shows. And so, yeah.
Do you use sage every day?
Yes. Yep. I use a white sage. And so someone was saying, is there something that they could use because they have allergies to smoke? And I think there's actually some smokeless incense, isn't there?
I don't know about that. I'm not really into that stuff.
Yeah. So we'll have to look into that. So anyway, if anyone can figure out why the Led Zeppelin, and this is the only thing there is something trying to communicate to me. And Jeff, I
Led
don't know.
Zeppelin, huh?
Yeah. And so when this started happening, I'll just tell you when this started happening.
Were they awake, Led Zeppelin?
Yes. They are. I have heard that Jimmy Page is the one who is a devotee of Saturn.
Really?
Look at their sigil. Their sigil is the sigil of Saturn.
Now, is Jimmy Page dead now?
No, he's still alive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still alive, still playing. Not at concerts, but yeah. So here's what I'm trying to think. And so help me, folks. I need people who are serious about this. And Jeff, if you get something to this, there is something trying to communicate. You don't go out. This is a classic rock station. They don't play Led Zeppelin every hour. They don't. But it seems like I can go out there and the song. In fact, I was at my workbench on Friday because I'm building myself an alchemy lab. And I thought, wouldn't it be good to hear Stairway to Heaven? I've had to text my wife. I have it here because guess what the next song was that came up? Stairway to Heaven.
So, Wayne, are you manifesting this
I don't know.
by the power of your intention?
Could be.
Maybe you're manifesting it.
Could be. But it's definitely weird and it's starting to bug me.
Well, why don't you start thinking about Billy Idol and see?
Well, trust me, I got a lot of others.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking maybe Queen, you know, I could do with some Bohemian Rhapsody, you know.
Why is anybody but me like Billy Idol?
Billy Idol was cool. I saw him in concert and different type of God. Michelle says, isn't Saturn evil? Actually, it's supposedly the home of the Elohim Yahweh.
Interesting. I saw Billy Idol in concert last year.
Did you really?
And he tore it up.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
We saw Rod Stewart a couple of years ago, and man, the dude still got it.
He still got it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Santana played with him. Lynn didn't like Santana. She said it was a little too loud for her. Senior song at Dobie. Well, Darlene, I didn't get to graduate with the senior class, so I am so glad.
Love in the chat room.
Wow, good. I'm just so glad we found each other, Darlene. Write me. This will be cool. Yeah. But anyway, Rod Stewart, and I don't know, Jeff. Strange times we living in. This thing, if in fact, if what's happening on Mars, that this the ESA, I've seen the photos. It shows a 15 million year old volcano suddenly erupting. We're seeing changes everywhere, Jeff, everywhere. And by the way, did you see the interpretation on the prophecy of the Christ returning in the cloud?
I did not see that.
Someone wrote an op-ed, and I forget where it was at, but it was really good. What if the cloud is not the clouds?
Oh, but the cloud.
Cloud, yes, as a light.
That's interesting.
Well, it's different.
I think I'm going to get some white sage today, though.
I would. It's good. It's a good thing to get, folks. It really is. You got to be on your guard. You know,
it can't hurt. That's for sure.
Well, you know, I tell people, take from the Bible what is good. I mean, listen, I appreciate what Paul wrote in Ephesians 6:12. He gave me a key to understand the hierarchy of the kingdoms that I'm dealing with. And when I read the Kabbalion and begin to understand the planes, I said, well, this makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. He only did it because he had to, Wayne. He wasn't trying to help you.
He wasn't my huckleberry?
No, he was not.
I love it. Well, we got nearly 270 people in here, Jeff. I mean, it's a rockin' in here.
It is. And we've been all over the place today. It's been one rabbit trail after another.
Well, you know, but sometimes it leads all back to the railroad track.
It does. It
does.
I did something today, Wayne. I woke up. It woke me up out of bed about 6 this morning, and I was thinking about a gag order.
Ooh.
And that's the morning mantra today. Are we under a gag order? And then as I was literally in the midst of doing the little program, it was only 3 minutes, the gag came to me. Who would be trying to gag us and keep us from spreading truth and understanding truth? GAG, Gods, Aliens, and Governments.
Whoa. You need to do a t-shirt on that one.
And we should be
gag. I like that. God, aliens.
We don't need aliens. We don't need governments. All we need is us. Those are all three things that steal our sovereignty from us. I'm looking over here because it's on my whiteboard.
I love that. Keep that up there. God, aliens, and government. It goes back, Jeff, to this whole thing of sovereignty. If you're not a god, then why be sovereign?
Mm-hmm. The gods, the aliens, and the governments are trying to keep us ignorant of our own sovereignty. They're trying to usurp our sovereignty because we give it to them. We do. We do. I'm telling you, Jeff, there's going to be a group of people that are going to get this. Yep. They're going to realize just what the creative force that they are. And when we get together, watch out, spirit realm. And who's hearing in their mind, gag me with a spoon? That was Valley Girl stuff, right? It was, but it's a good one. I love that. God, aliens, and government. Wow. Well, why would you gag yourself with a spoon? I don't understand that. Critical thinker. Wayne, listen to the tones and tunes. I do. Oh, that's a good idea. Listen to the tones and tunes. Yeah.
I do. I have that gifting of music. In fact, seeing Darlene, I mean, I'm going back to, junior high days when, I was learning when I was in the band. I think Darlene was in the band too, if I got this right, weren't
Did
you?
you guys go to band camp together?
I think if I'm right, if she's still in here, I think that and I have to make sure on this, but she'll tell me. The clarinet. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, this has gone to down memory lane.
Absolutely.
How
Absolutely.
many people have you met anyone that you knew in junior high?
Not on Facebook, no, or whatever we're on. What are we on? YouTube. Not on YouTube
YouTube. Yeah.
either.
Yeah. How interesting. Well,
I did get a very interesting request for a conversation today, but I
what's
won't get
that?
into that. But it's
Oh.
it's just things that happen.
Well, Jeff, you are the good man. You're going to get out of YouTube timeout. I'm
Well,
looking forward.
tomorrow's sometime. I don't know if it goes through tomorrow or if it ends tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, I am looking forward to seeing you back live.
And I'm going to continue to post that fair use.
Do that.
Game.
It's a bottom of this one as well. That's just the way it is. That's the day we live in. But you know what? I'll guarantee you they're using our image. They're using our material. And,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, you still have the clarinet. You see, I'm telling you, this is strange. Well, there you go.
That's almost beyond belief, Wayne.
Strange things are happening, Jeff.
Strange things are happening. What did you do, Jeff, to get gagged? It was
no.
that's good. It was just some silly. That's the thing. You're guilty until proven innocent. It's not the other way around on YouTube, which is a source of much chagrin. This is the second time it's happened to me.
Well, I do know that there are some legislators that are looking at this. I will tell you that. And I think depending on how the midterms turn out, there may be some for these tech companies, particularly like YouTube, that is suppressing the Second Amendment. They may be in for a little jolt. It's going to go to the Supreme Court, trust me. And
I have a friend who's a songwriter who said that President Trump just signed legislation that enables songwriters to get paid for streaming rights, which is a good thing too.
It is. Yeah, it needs to be overhauled. When they did this legislation on copyright, it was before the digital age. Yep. They've done amendments to it, but they basically, and you got to, when I look at Congress, I just see a bunch of monkeys. That's all I do. I see a bunch of monkeys just throwing crap at each other.
And well, you know that a group of baboons is called a Congress.
See, folks, my spirit guide be talking to me.
And what's the opposite of progress if not Congress, right?
Congress, exactly. Congress. But that's what I see. I just see them throwing crap at each other. But maybe one day we might get some intelligent men and women in there that really know what they're doing and deal with this issue, because YouTube is wrong in this. There should be a platform where both sides are heard before there's a penalty or any judgment made.
I agree 100%.
And YouTube, you've got a couple of class action lawsuits that are being filed against you on this very problem. Alex Jones is leading one of them.
Oh, that should be interesting.
Yeah, he is filing, and if they get granted class action status, I think that you will see it begin to change. And you're right, Terry. The handover that took place last week is why YouTube was down for 2 hours. They transferred the internet on Tuesday.
It wasn't a moon video that they were trying to hide, Wayne?
No, it was a transfer. They warned everyone a week ago Friday that this was going to be taking place. And now, folks, the internet is no longer protected by the United States. It's basically now being run by what I would call an international cabal.
Wow, I didn't realize that. So that's no bueno.
It's a serious stuff, folks. It's Obama signed the legislation that was passed by his Congress, and it was fought into the courts, and we lost.
That's bad news. I didn't know about that, and shame
Yeah.
on me for not knowing.
It's very bad news. And expect to see much more of this, because what they're going to do, I know what YouTube is going to do. They're going to file for international court. And of course, internationally, you have no rights, although they say we do.
Yeah, this is bad stuff.
It is. It's sad. It's sad.
Barack Obama's the gift that keeps on giving, I guess, huh?
Well, he's your huckleberry. Oh, I still tell people, go back to the 2008 coronation. That's the one that just still blows me away. And we're still living underneath that thing. And, by the way, Jeff, I know we're running longer than normal, but someone else has picked up on the fact that they're seeing Donald Trump as potentially the anti, and it's just not Christ, but the anti-deliverer or antithesis of the world system. They're looking at the same correlation. Who is that?
I don't know, but I should have come out with that sooner, huh?
Yeah. What was
So
that?
the question is Donald Trump
The Antichrist
to the system?
to the system.
Is it the Antichrist to the system, or Wayne, is he just a false prophet? He's trying to trick us.
Something's going on here, because it's interesting. They brought direct correlation to how he is going to attack the beast, the whore of Babylon.
That's interesting stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, I may have to get on that today.
You should. I'd like to see what your take on that, because it's now starting to go around. People are seeing this. Listen, I heard some things from the inside on, and you can't take anything for much more than a grain of thought, but there is chaos reigning around him.
Around Trump?
Yeah.
President Trump?
They say the West Wing is one strange place to be in.
Well, do you really think that Trump Tower wasn't a strange place to be in?
Oh, it's got weird, funky energy. I've been there.
I've not been there. I've been in Taj Mahal when he was there, and it seemed rather orderly. But does Trump intentionally create that chaos to get everybody else off their game, and he's learned how to just focus right through it?
Don't mess with the frog. That's all I gotta say.
That's a very effective way if you can create chaos in everybody but you, that's a great advantage. That's like the guy that goes to the work party and is the only one that doesn't get drunk.
Yeah. So we can let's get into this on the next program, because there's some, as they would say, there's some really weird hoodoo going on, that voodoo.
Yeah. So either way, Trump is working a plan.
He is working a plan, and I don't know what the plan is anymore.
And the question is, how far back does it go, and how far back did people know that it was going to happen?
Well, all right, we'll might as well.
They've been preparing this Antichrist mythos since the 16th century.
Yes, they have. And
so did they know about Trump in the 16th century?
Well, according to the last, the book, what is the book written back in the
Adventures of Baron Trump or whatever?
That's it. Yep. And think about this. So on my radio show, I did a whole hour in showing how George Washington was a master magician, and that he was never a Christian. That's why on the cathedral ceiling of the Capitol, you have George Washington as God.
Yeah.
He is Zeus. And who adorns our Capitol? The goddess of liberty, Diana. Isis, Inna. Folks, I think we've been set up from there is so much occultism in Washington, D.C. itself, the way it was set up. Do you know why they set it up in the District of Columbia?
Why?
There is a spirit dedicated to Columbia.
Oh, wow.
It could never have been part of the United States. It had to be this separate deity, this separate, and that's what it is.
So no matter what sorry, folks, those of you in DC, you're never going to get statehood.
No. This is, and you're right. Who said that? Jenny, you're absolutely right. Jenny and Matt, it is the hidden occult everywhere. I mean, go to any of the federal buildings. What do you see? The capstones and in the engraves on top of every one of the federal buildings. You've got the deities. You've got the gods. You got Zeus. You've got both Rome in the transition.
This is the dichotomy. You got some people saying that Trump is an MK Ultra clone, and then you got other people saying he's the deliverer. So
you see,
it's a big dichotomy.
My question is, does he have an allegiance to Diana?
Yeah, but let's just face it, folks. If you were, who would you rather have walking beside you through a dark alley at night? Barack Hussein Obama or Donald John Trump?
Choose wisely.
I know who I'm taking.
Oh, I love this. So I tell you, we're waking up. We're waking up, and I was under that mythos that the United States was a Christian nation dedicated to God, and and now when you wake up, you're realizing, yeah, it was dedicated to God, but which God?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this just came to mind, but if I could pick any politician, I'd take Pat Buchanan. He was one tough hombre.
Oh, he certainly was. He certainly was.
I'll take Pat over both of those two.
Oh boy, it just kind of reminds me. Yeah. Well, Jeff, boy, we did it this time.
We did.
I hope everyone found this exciting. It's not your normal Sunday morning.
Well, next week we'll be pissing you off on my channel. So
yeah, go over it, Jeff.
Wayne's like, thank God.
It's like, man, okay. Well, this was fun, Jeff. I enjoyed this, and listen. I like it. Trump's uncle had to be Tesla. Had the Tesla space. Yes, he did. Sarah, you're absolutely right. He did. Listen, this whole Trump thing goes back. There is a bloodline here, folks.
It goes way back. I agree with that. This has been planned for a while.
Yeah. I sometimes, I kind of feel like this locomotive. Do you try to resist it or do you just get off? Because it's going.
Yeah.
It's flat going, brother. It's
crazy stuff, ladies and
gentlemen. Building momentum. Stuff. Can you imagine? They say, no, we'll wait on that next week.
Let's do it. All right, Wayne. My pleasure, brother.
Jeff, it's always a pleasure, my friend. I'm going to go and have breakfast with my wife. And Jeff, you know what? I just got to tell you, I have a lot of admiration for you. You've hung in there strong, buddy.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. And there's a whole lot worse things happening to a whole lot better people. So I just carry on.
You know what? I have told you this before. It's an honor and a privilege to have you intersecting on my life path. It's been much more enriched because of it.
Well, I 100% agree with you, Wayne, and I'm going to get out there to Denver before too long.
You do that, my friend. We'll have fun.
As soon as the snow melts. I'm not coming when it's cold.
Well, I think we're going to get spanked in December. So,
although I think I'm still think I'm going to, if I'm out in Arizona at the end of November, I'm probably so close I should just come up. So we'll see.
Are you sure you're going to do that thing out in the desert?
If it happens, I'm not convinced it's going to happen, but we'll see.
Well, the other thing is, if you talk to Heidi,
I just talked to her yesterday or day before she called me up.
Well, find out and see what she is seeing for the 24th of October.
Okay.
There are charts that are showing and I just want to see what she has to say. There could be potentially something big in the financial markets coming.
So I'll text her right now.
Yeah, ask her what she sees for the 24th. And
we've got a breaking text coming in. Oh, we've got from well, I can't say who it's from, but Wayne, 3 thumbs up for the show that we're doing right now.
Well,
And this is from a person that would know. And also thumbs up for the last Diamonds broadcast. I did Diamonds Amongst the Dung. But ladies and gentlemen, and you know, this, we don't get political a lot, but I mean, if you want to keep, I can't say it, but I'm just saying things are going good. I mean, look at our economy. What was how good is the economy going?
best in 57 years.
Look at the unemployment numbers.
Best that it has been in 60 years.
Do you want to keep that going or not? That's all I'm asking.
You know what? If I was 40 years old, I could tell you folks, I'll just say this. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for funding, you're looking for opportunities, this is the time right now. There are more deals being funded, more startups. And if you listen to Jeff and I, and you go to any of our channels separately or together, you should begin to get ideas and write a business plan. And Jeff, I'm telling you, this is the time for businesses to start kicking butt. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
It is. And I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say any more than I've said. I've probably already said too much.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking
So
on
I just texted Heidi. It says Wayne asks what's up for October 24.
Yes. Specifically, I'm getting sent there are signs that something potentially could happen. And
you know, Wayne, you made the statement, you know, I've hung in there and I come through and all that, you know, great. But, you know, you look at things, you think, oh, that was bad and poor Jeff and terrible that it happened. But every day that I get further from that experience, I just get this growing sense within my spirit, my heart, my soul, even my mind, that it was there for a reason. And, you know, it's kind of goes back to the whole Bible things. It's Sunday morning, you know, Joseph got sold into slavery. And what was the bottom line of that? Joseph, even though the enemy meant it for evil, the divine turned it around for good. And I'm convinced that that's exactly what was going on with me. And it's going to be a whole lot better ride from here on out than it was from there on in.
Yep, I agree with you. I absolutely do. So there we go.
So as Mark Twain once said, the reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
You're looking mighty fine there, bro. That's all I got to say. I saw your show with Jay Campbell. Good stuff. Optimization, folks. If you're looking,
I'm in my prime.
He's looking in prime. Definitely check that out over in Jeff's channel.
BJB 1976.
Yes. Well, thank everyone to coming in. And
I know I get so many great ideas from subscribers. My email is newcosmicknowledge@gmail.com. Please do not hesitate to send me ideas. Don't hesitate to send me questions, and please don't hesitate to send me answers either.
Yeah.
newcosmickknowledge@gmail.com. Jeff in his Technicolor jacket. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love it. And I just want to thank all of the folks in the chat room, everyone watching. Darlene, thank you for coming back. Amazing. It's goes to show you.
She still has the clarinet from.
Yeah, it's still amazing. I knew it. I had a crush on her when I was a kid. So
the truth comes out.
Well, that's how we learn, cousin.
That's how we roll. Heidi says, what do you mean, Wayne?
Specifically, does she see something potentially interfering in the financial markets?
Okay, something in financial markets. That's what I'll ask her.
Way to go, Heidi.
You're welcome to the show, Heidi.
Yeah. Got to get her on.
I fired it off. Okay. Absolutely. We've never had a guest on the
we haven't.
Sunday show, have we?
No, we haven't. We were going to have Derek.
Come on, this.
We had Derek, and he said, I don't think so.
My internet went out. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
That's the excuse. If you ever want to be off a show or get off a show or you get mad, your internet goes down.
Yeah. Oh, Robert Phoenix. All right, we'll have to check that out. I'll have to look that out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to be here, Wayne. It's been great being over on your channel. I'll have to toss it back and forth every now and again, even when I'm out of jail.
Well, you're going to get out of jail. And I just want to speak favor over everyone here today. Go out and just love yourselves and subscribe to Jeff's channel if you haven't. Subscribe to mine if you haven't. Give us a thumbs up. Whoever put the thumbs down, that's okay. We have your number.
When I watch my videos, and before I'm even 2 minutes in, I've got 3 thumbs down on every one. So it's the same 3 people.
It is.
And I know who you are.
It's that club. That club. You know
I'm
that.
Surprised there's only 3, to be frank with you.
Well,
Jeannie says that Darlene says that she still loves you, Wayne.
Well, now I'm blushing. Thank you. That's very kind.
Oh my, Darlene, you're too late. Sorry to tell you.
Well, much love to everyone, including you, Jeff.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm here to stir things up, Wayne.
You're doing a good job, bro.
And if you were in 8th grade with me and you still have a crush on me, let a brother know.
Let him know. Write him. Jeff, thank you for making my life a delight. It's been
you as well, brother. It's a pleasure. Love you.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and check out of here as well, Jeff.
All right. Adios.
All right. Bye-bye, folks. Be good.